Do you own a home, or are you thinking seriously about buying a home? There are two major trends going on right now that risk a huge crash in the housing markets, especially in expensive areas like the Silicon Valley, where I live. These are, first and most importantly, Zoom and other remote collaboration tools that allow people to work remotely from inexpensive areas where housing costs are low and yet perform difficult advanced knowledge work. These seem likely to result in an exodus of people from expensive areas like the Silicon Valley to inexpensive areas. Now, Zoom is battle-tested. It's been used for years now through the lockdowns and many other events. It's really very close to proven technology. I'm using it right now to record this video. Then, of course, there's AI. It's in the news. They're coming for your job. They're going to get rid of the programmers, the managers, the sales professionals, the marketing people, all of these knowledge jobs that have historically provided the income for people, for the middle class to purchase homes in the United States. Those jobs are right in the crosshairs. Now, AI is not as proven a technology. It's not clear to what extent the AI hype will prove true, but it's also a big trend, and it is very likely to impact the employment of people who buy homes negatively. What can you do about this? How can you protect yourself and your family from these major structural changes in the economy and in technology? I have an app for this, an app for doomsday. Let me show you the app. So this is the Home Purchase Risk Estimator, and it has a straightforward startup wizard to walk you through the process of using this program. So first, let's think about your situation. Maybe you're like someone like me in the Silicon Valley or another expensive area. So let's take a look at the life of people in these areas with very expensive homes. So remarkably, the median home price, and it isn't for like a super huge home in this area, is about $1.5 million. So perhaps you've been working well in the Silicon Valley for years. You've got a home. Most of your money is tied up in that home, and it theoretically is worth $1.5 million. Of course, you'd have to buy another home or do something else. A very important number is the largest loss you can afford. What is your floor? If your home crashes in price, as can occur with technological changes like Zoom, like AI, how low can you go before you're really in trouble? You and your family have real money problems. For this person, I'll say $1 million. They can lose $500,000, and that might be bad, but they can still afford it. And let's think about what are they going to be able to sell their home for in the future. So we're going to start at 1 year. Now, this is based on mathematical models of data from the US Federal Reserve. They have a home price index for every region, counties, cities, states in the United States. So this program uses that data to make predictions about the probable future of prices. Now, prices vary. They jump all over the place. Good news, bad news, recessions. So it's not totally predictable. The program simulates the future, the many different possibilities, flipping the coin. Maybe there's going to be a bad year. Historically, the trends in the Silicon Valley and many other expensive high-tech areas have been very good. If you can ride out a recession, a short-term downturn, even something like the bubble in 2008, you'll do okay. That's not true with structural class crashes. Now it's thinking a little bit, it's going to set things up, and it's going to ask you a few questions. Right here, it's asking you for your inflation rate. So this is an inflation-adjusted program. It gives you the money in inflation-adjusted dollars, in current dollars. How much did your buying power go up or down in the future based on this historical data? Now, the CPI number that you hear is pretty low. It's 2.9%. Personally, my groceries seem to be going up a lot higher than that. But we suggest, therefore, and it prompts you to take a look at your credit card, your bank statements, your personal records, and see how much your expenses are actually going up. Use that number. I'm going to use 5%, which actually is probably a little low in my opinion, but nonetheless, let's try 5%. Now it cranks a little bit more. And it's a step-by-step guide through running the application. So it explains to you how you can change that inflation number, shows you where the button is to open the settings that allow you to set the different values that are used in the program. Thinks a little bit more. Now, the biggest risk to home buyers is these long-term crashes due to structural changes in the economy, such as the decline in manufacturing that devastated Flint, Michigan, Detroit, Jersey City, where I used to live, and many other communities that still have not really recovered from this. Zoom is proven battle-tested technology from the lockdowns. It works, and it is very likely to result, and is already probably resulting in people moving to cheaper areas. Now, AI is more problematic. We don't really know how well it's going to work, but it's clearly having an impact. There are all sorts of layoffs. It is a real threat to all those people that buy homes, and that would be a nationwide, worldwide effect on housing markets. So let's go ahead and incorporate a model of these structural crashes. The Federal Reserve has data from Flint and all of these other areas that got devastated. So this is a model that considers, what if that happens in the Silicon Valley or some other area that has historically done very well? So I'll show a little bit about the Silicon Valley. Overall, real inflation-adjusted housing prices have soared in the Silicon Valley despite temporary setbacks, which can be significant. If you're forced to sell during one of those setbacks, not so good. Again, it's a step-by-step guide. It shows you what the buttons are so you can control the application. And eventually you don't need the startup wizard. You can just go and click and do whatever you need to do. Now, this is trial beta software. It's not for commercial sale. We want people to try it out. If you're really interested, help us make it better for you. What can we do to address your concerns, provide you with the information you need to make a good decision? It's not a substitute for financial advice. You should talk with your family. You should talk with a financial advisor, someone who's highly qualified. It's just to help you do it. Well, what's the situation with that $1.5 million home in the Silicon Valley? Again, this person can tolerate normal fluctuations, even a recession for a couple of years, and that's what the application is showing. So let's go ahead and show the controls that you'd learn to use over time. And let's think about, let's say, 5-6 years in the future. Now, this has a model of a crash like what occurred in Flint and may occur in the Silicon Valley due to Zoom and AI. Well, it's saying the probability of a loss too big, more than that $500,000 this person can afford happening 5 or 6 years in the future, is really substantial. Let's take a deeper look at that. So here's the estimated range of real prices, adjusting for that 5% inflation in the future if there's a major crash. Now, this is based on historical data from Flint and other communities that were devastated by the decline in manufacturing, where they saw a substantial long-term crash in housing values by over 50%, too much for this person. And there's a real risk of that occurring now with AI and with the remote collaboration tools, especially in expensive areas like the Silicon Valley. So what can we do about that? One thing we could do is beat the rush and move to a cheaper area and perhaps get a home there. So let's take a look at that. So let's open the settings. All right, so we can go up here and we can select the area we're interested in moving to. So that would be, for example, Austin. It's a popular destination right now. It's kind of hot. It's relatively expensive compared to the nation as a whole, but the median price of a home there is $500,000. It's about a third of what it is here in the Silicon Valley. So let's take a look at buying that typical home in Austin, which was very possibly larger than the one here. And again, this person can afford probably to lose all of this, but let's give them a floor of $100,000. They can afford to lose $400,000. Remember, they've sold their $1.5 million home. They've got $1 million, which was where a lot of their money was tied up. Their personal wealth was in that home. And now they have that available to do other things with, such as invest in AI companies, invest in Zoom, purchase gold. Took a little while to adjust, and now it's showing you there's almost no probability of losing too much. They stand to lose if there's a major crash. It would affect Austin as well as the Silicon Valley, but they only lose a few $100,000. They still have a nice home in Austin or some other area, Nashville, for example, or many of these cities out in these less expensive rural and semi-rural areas. That's the application. Let me quit the application. You can get the trial version, download it from payhip.com/mathematical software. Mathematical software is one word. M and S are capitalized. Everything else is not. So it's payhip.com/mathematical software. Now, this is a trial version. It's not ready for prime time. It's not something to make major decisions based on. Take a look at it and get some idea of what it can do. We're going to bring out a commercial version with validated models, a lot more work done on it in a couple of months. What we would really like you to do is, one, try it out, give you some ideas probably, but help us help you make a really good decision. We need to know what's hard to use, what could make it better, what you need to see to validate the models, to feel confident that you're getting that information from the Federal Reserve and other sources without, any concerns. What do we need to do to provide an audit trail for what we're showing you so that you can be confident of it and understand its limitations as well? So give it a try. Now, it's only been installed on a few Windows computers, Microsoft Windows computers. It could fail to install on your system. If you have a problem with it, just let us know. Don't fight with it. The installation is kind of complicated. Just let us know what your problem is. If you can tell us what version of Windows you have and send us a screenshot or the text from the error messages, that would be helpful. We'll fix it, get it working. But take a look at it. Help us help you make better decisions about these major changes with remote work tools like Zoom and AI that are threatening your situation, threatening your job, threatening your home. Help us help you.